Tony Novak here to share a few points on how to stay out of tax trouble. Today's topic is fuel tax credit. And let me say that this is the second take of the day. I'm sorry if you saw an earlier version that had technical trouble, such as the nature of a live broadcast. Fuel tax credit is a topic that doesn't affect too many businesses, but it's very important to those that are affected. All of us pay fuel tax, but certain businesses, particularly food industry, that is farmers, aquaculture, and fishermen, are entitled to receive a tax credit. And let me start this by introducing a little story from years ago. When I was a kid growing up on a small farm, we bought fuel, gasoline, in a big tank on the farm that was not taxed. We bought the fuel untaxed and was used for filling up tractors. But guess what? If I had a hot date, I was a 16-year-old, 17-year-old driving and didn't have a whole lot of cash in my pocket, and I was short of cash, there was nothing stopping me from going to Dad's gas tank and taking the farm gas to go out on my date. And of course, that was not a legitimate use of untaxed fuel. So I tell that story to share the fact that nowadays I'm not aware of any fuel dealers selling untaxed fuel to small farming operations. Might be different in the big farming corporations. That's out of my bailiwick. But in small farms, as far as I know, all of the dealers that I know of are selling taxed fuel at the higher price to farmers, fishermen, and aquaculture industries. So each of those is entitled to a tax credit back on that. A few pointers on that issue. One is that only a statement from the dealer, the delivery statement of the fuel invoice, or a credit card payment slip are accepted as valid proof of eligibility for that credit. Second is, as far as I know, you get to choose the schedule that you submit that tax credit request on. I have heard of farmers that do it monthly, but in the case of my clients, at least, is we just do it once a year, annually, when we're doing the other taxes as well. The issue then becomes a matter of hanging on to actual receipts because my clients, farmers and fishermen, tend to not be great at keeping those records. And in addition, let me add one more point. Farming and fishing that are heavily dependent on cash transactions, you cannot use a cash receipt to get a fuel credit, at least not in my state. And I just want to point that out. Thanks for joining today. If you have a topic you'd like to see covered, perhaps one that affects your specific industry, I'd love to hear and cover it on a future episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with another Tax Minute.